Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm actually going to be giving you a little glimpse into the curriculum that we use for typing, and that is called Typing Without Tears. And before I give you a little glimpse of my kids using the program, what it looks like and how we use it, I just want to give you a few little things that kind of came to my mind that if I were, watching the video or something and wanting to know about it, I might want to know this little pieces of information before I got started. First one is that the website is, how do I put it politely, a little convoluted and confusing. So I won't say it's the most flawless website that I've ever used and that it was like super user friendly, we'll say. So it's a little confusing when you go and you buy it, and then you have to, how you apply it to your account. And so I think a lot of times people can use it in a classroom setting. So you can have your different classrooms, and then you can apply each license to each student, and then they can go into different classrooms. And so it might make a little bit more sense if you had like a big classroom, but here I am, I just needed it for my 4 kids. And so I think it might have been a little bit more messy than it needed to be. Just my general observations, and maybe I'm just not as computer literate as I thought I once was, and so that might just be on me, and you might fly through it and have no problems at all. I figured it all out on my own. I will say that I didn't need to, ask my 12-year-old for help, which sometimes I do, but I didn't need to. So you can figure it out. I will just say it's not as user-friendly as you might hope. The second thing that I want to point out is that you do need a license for each individual kid that is wanting to use it. So what you do is you create you buy a license, and then you apply it to your classroom. You can name each kid, and then they each have their own little username and password to enter into their own account. That way you can kind of track their progress. You can see how they're doing on it, as if you were in a teacher in a traditional classroom, and you're wanting, you can't stand over each kid and watch them, so you can track their progress. So each kid gets to choose, I just write their name, and then they get to choose their own password. And so each kid gets to choose it. It's obviously very simple. They have just some letters and numbers that they can click on, so it doesn't get too difficult or, messy with them forgetting the password. There's only so many options that they can choose, and you'll see that when I give you a little glimpse into it. The other thing that I do when I have it is I saved this site directly to my favorites, so that when the kids are ready to use it, they know that they can just go to the top of the browser, click on it, and it immediately takes it to the screen where you can choose between each of my kids. So it'll pop up and it has Gabriel, Isaiah, Ezra, and Eden. They click on their name. Once it takes it to them, then they can kind of plug in their own password, and then it takes them right back to where they stopped in their progress. So whenever they save it, it'll pick right back up where they left off from the last time. Now, another thing I want to mention, and this could be user error on my part, I never did find a placement test on their website. So I never was able to go on there and be like, if your kid knows how to do this and how to do this, then you need to start at this level. Or if they have zero, knowledge, obviously start at level 1, but if they know how to do this, start at level 2, 3, 4, so on. I never did find a placement test, or really what was included in each level. So I started all my kids, my 6th grader, 4th, 2nd, and kindergartner, all in level 1. As you can imagine, Gabriel's a little bored and Eden loves it. So the other 2 boys are somewhere in between. So maybe after I have done a few levels in here, I can update you and maybe give you a little glimpse onto what it is. And honestly, it could be my fault that I didn't exhaust the website and finding, if they know how to do XYZ, then you should start them in level 3 or, 2 or whatever it was. So maybe you're better at doing that than I am. I think I just kind of looked very briefly, didn't find anything, and I was like, whatever. I'm just going to put them all in level 1. Gabriel's flying through it at a much greater speed than Eden, and that was what was expected. But I figured with each license only being $10, that I wasn't too shook up about it. And honestly, I didn't really know what Gabriel knew. He just in this most recent year started typing out some of his papers. Obviously, I noticed that he was, just pecking each one key at a time, and that wasn't going to work. And so I thought, okay, there's nothing that's going to hurt if he starts at level 1. It does work on some mouse skills as well as learning the home row and also working on which finger needs to be hitting each key. And that's kind of where we are now. I know when you get into the far greater level levels, they're having a paragraph at the top and they're typing the entire paragraph that they see above them on the screen. So I do know that it is drastically increasing as they go throughout the different levels. So that's basically like what I know here. Like that, I don't have a lot. We just recently started within the last couple of months, so my kids aren't super progressed through all these levels, but I can give you a glimpse in what level 1 looks like, and that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do now. I can kind of show you each kid doing a little bit of the exercises and what it looks like on the screen, and then that way you can have an idea of whether or not this would work well for your homeschool or and your kids. So let's go ahead and get started and take a look. Okay, so here we have Ezra, and he's going to show you. We do have it saved up at the top, so go ahead and take that, Ezra. Click on it. All right, so it automatically loads up, and you can see I have all of the kids here that they can select. So Ezra's going to choose his own name. So go ahead, Ezra. Oh, let's go ahead and turn up the volume too so we can hear. Okay, so click in your secret code. So they can choose between letters and numbers. They have a little bit more difficult ones that you can choose from, but we just chose to go with a simple login. All right, so you can see where he is, that they're at an eating unit and how far he is in this unit. So he just clicks on the arrow, and then this is kind of showing.
Type the letters at the top.
So you need to get your fingers on home row. Get how they should, okay? Line them up. Okay, now you're gonna type a P, yep, with your pinky. See how it's lit up? You're gonna type the P.
Oh, there.
There you go. And then as he types it and gets it correct, it switches to the next letter, but it's always showing and highlighting the letter in which he needs to hit.
You got it.
So that was just one little one. Then he just clicks the arrow and it kind of moves to the next thing.
Hold the target. Type each letter. Can you guess the image?
You can see what happens. Yeah, it was a pineapple. You can see what happens when he gets it wrong. It flashes red. So here is another example of another activity. It's building a keyboard where he has to kind of place them in the correct spot.
Move the keys back onto the keyboard. You did it.
That was easy.
It was an easy one. So it fills in another one. We go to the next one. So a lot of the activities can be super easy and short and quick, and they move on to the next one.
Type each letter.
Make sure you're all got on home row, so you should, on your pointer fingers, feel the little bumps.
Yogurt. Ice cream. Pear. Ice cream.
This one is called target practice, and it's just another exercise that they do. Nah. Get back on home row. You're doing a Y with your pointer. There you go. Middle finger up tie.
You did it.
This is one of the more simpler ones, but this
Move the
is
pieces
working
to
on
finish each puzzle.
mouse skills. So being able to move the mouse and get it where you want it to go.
Jelly beans. Orange.
All right, this one is called Find the Letter. What did you say, Ezra?
That's my favorite.
It's your favorite activity. Okay.
Find and select every Y. Hold the target and then type every Y.
Get on home row. Get your hands down there. Your pointer finger should have the little raised part above it.
Find and select every P. Hold the target and then type every P. Find
Are
and
you
select
typing it with the
every
right
O.
finger?
Oh. Six O's.
Hold the target and then type every O.
Nope.
You got it.
All right, now here's a little glimpse of Eden, and she's gonna log into hers. We go to the same setup. She's gonna go to hers. Yep, Eden.
Click to enter your secret code.
Remember your secret code? Try it again. Sometimes it just doesn't work.
The home row.
Do I press X?
Let's
No,
start
you're just
with
gonna
home
watch your
row.
video first.
Do you see the green row on the keyboard?
Yeah, it's in the middle.
That's called the home row. You rest your fingers on the home row. Let's look at the letters. Do you see the letters with the little roofs on top?
Yeah. A, S, D, F, J, K, L, semicolon.
Those are the home row keys, and that's where you rest your fingers when you're not typing. Let's start with your left hand. Your left pinky rests on A, left ring finger rests on S, left tall finger rests on D, left pointer finger rests on F. Great. Now let's try with the right hand. Pointer on J, tall on K, ring on L, and pinky on semicolon.
Home row. Here's a trick to help you remember your home row keys. A, S, D, F. All ships do float. J, K, L, semicolon. Just keep looking. Eyes open, eyes wink.
Do you feel the bumps under your pointer fingers?
Yeah, I feel the bumps on F and J keys.
Do you see G and H in between?
I see G and H.
G and H, go home.
Perfect. You're on the home row and your fingers are ready to go.
All right, so you can see that Eden is a little further behind, not behind, but just not moving as quickly as her brothers are. So we'll go ahead and start her first one here. All right, so you're actually gonna be working with your mouse, I think, Eden. You're gonna build a keyboard.
Move the keys back onto the keyboard.
Yeah, you do yellow.
So she also has some target practice as well. So yep, hold down your F and now you gotta hit the Y. But you're gonna come, so your pointer finger should be on J, feel the bump. And then your pointer finger is gonna go reach up and touch the Y. Pointer finger. Yep. Okay, now get back on the home row. Nope, pointer finger on J. Good. Okay, now you're gonna go to U, and that's with your pointer finger as well. So pointer finger as well. Good. Okay, I want you to do U again. Okay, Y.
What?
You came in the screen. Your ring finger go up to O. Might need to get your seat a little bit higher so you can see on the keyboard. All right, so Eden's not quite as far in as her brothers into the program, so we have a new activity to show you. This one is letters with wood pieces. So why don't you start this one? Okay.
Let's make the letter I. Big line, little line, little line. Now it's your turn.
Again, this is mouse work, being able to control the mouse. So obviously this was steps below the boys, especially
That's it.
Gabriel,
Capital
but
I. Let's
he
make
just
the letter T.
plugged through them very quickly.
Big line, little line. Now it's your turn.
Can you make a T?
Cool beans, capital T.
All right, now we have Isaiah, and he's going to show you the same thing, see if we have any different activities going on in his
Click to enter your secret code.
All right, so you're on a build the keyboard, similar activity that we've seen before.
Move the keys back onto the keyboard.
Type on the new targets.
So some more target practice.
You are smart.
Got some puzzle pieces.
Move
These
the
are
pieces to finish each puzzle.
pretty simple.
Locomotive. Car. Yacht. Jeep. New York.
So you can see that a lot of the activities are kind of
Wanda.
repetitive. One little, chapter that they do or exercise will repeat itself throughout the entire
Monorail.
week's worth of activities. So
Locomotive.
they are repetitive and just really instilling proper hand placement and making sure that they know
Horseshoe.
that they're typing with the proper fingers with
Jeep.
for the proper letters.
Luggage.
All right, now we have Gabriel. So one thing I did mention is that I started every kid at the same level because I wasn't sure where the proper placement would be. I couldn't find a placement test. So you're gonna notice that he's probably gonna fly through and he's a little further beyond everyone else. So go ahead and get logged in.
Click to enter your secret code.
Hold the first target. Then type on the new targets.
So again, still a lot of the same activities that they're doing. They're obviously all in the same level, so they're
That's
not
it.
drastically different, but he goes through them a little bit faster. So yeah, Gabriel's comment was just, I don't know why I'm still doing this. Obviously, I'm just having him pretty much rush through these lower levels. He's a little bored with them. They are pretty elementary. So if you have any experience with keyboarding or typing, you probably don't need to start with level 1. I'm hoping that he'll finish with level 1 soon and we can move on to level 2, and hopefully we can get on to more, you know, actual typing out paragraphs, sentences, along those things. So I can kind of update you about level 2 if you're interested and you'd like to hear a little bit more about level 2. I do have friends who have
Got it right.
completed this entire program, and I do know that the last level is typing out paragraphs. So,
Type each letter.
so yeah, we are definitely below level. He's a little bored, but we're just focusing on making sure that we understand home row. We know our proper finger placement.
Construction.
And I wasn't really sure if that was going to cover it in later levels or not, if they would just assume that you already knew those things and just start having you type. And that was basically why I chose to go ahead and start with level 1. But as you can see from this fella's face, he's a little bored and would like to move on to another level. So we tend to just try and push through and do more than, you know, just a day's work, and are trying to bust it out a lot quicker than maybe the younger kids. But as you can see, all the activities are very similar throughout each kid and what they're doing.
Ballet.
Just working on different letters and different parts of the keyboard.
Coach.
All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video, this look into typing without tears. If you have any questions, as always, I'm happy to answer them. And until next time, have a blessed day.